AIDS or HIV can be a touchy topic for some, and many people don't know how to react to someone that has come in contact with the disease, and many don't even know what it is or why or how people discriminate against it. Defining stigma, UNAIDS defines HIV-related stigma and discrimination as a process of devaluation of people either living with or associated with HIV and AIDS. Discrimination follows stigma and is the unfair and unjust treatment of an individual based on his or her real or perceived HIV status. Journal of the International AIDS Society, August 2009. And the National Institute of Health article, Stigma in the AIDS HIV Epidemic, a review of the literature and recommendations for the way forward, August 2008. Definition of discrimination is as follows. Discrimination focuses attention on the individual and social producers of stigmatization, rather than recipients of stigma. Discrimination is a consequence of stigma and defined as when in the absence of objective justification, a distinction is made against a person that results in the person being treated unfairly and unjustly on the basis of belonging or being perceived to belong to a particular group. Now that we know how the stigma or discrimination of AIDS HIV is defined, we need to understand what it is and how to educate others about it. According to a 2009 national survey conducted by the Kaiser Family Foundation, 1/3 of Americans believe that HIV could be transmitted by sharing a drinking glass, touching a toilet seat, or swimming in a pool with someone who has the virus. The same survey found that half of adults say they would be uncomfortable having a food prepared by someone with HIV. 42% would be uncomfortable with a roommate who had HIV. 23% would be uncomfortable with a coworker with HIV, and 35% would be uncomfortable if their child had a teacher with HIV. American Medical Association Journal of Ethics, December 2009, Volume 11. I myself have never known of anyone to have AIDS or HIV virus, and I'm not exactly sure how I would handle the situation if I knew that they were positive. But I would like to think that it would not affect me in any way, shape, or form. I know that some people just have bad luck, and some just don't make the right decisions, and some just don't know. Whatever the case may be, it is a real disease and one that should not be discriminated against just because they are not the same as you. It's not just everyday people like you or I that discriminate against the infected, but professionals in the medical field do discriminate against AIDS, HIV positive carriers, as quoted from American Medical Association Journal of Ethics, December 2009, Volume 11. It should be reasonable to assume that one group of Americans, those who provide health care, do not share such misconceptions and do not discriminate against or stigmatize people living with HIV. Regrettably, that assumption is incorrect. Not only do ordinary plain Jane people come in contact with this virus, but celebrities and pro athletes also are victims of bad luck or bad choices. Los Angeles Lakers small forward Earvin "Magic" Johnson retired abruptly in November 1991 after announcing that he had contracted HIV. In his announcement, he stated that he contracted the disease by practicing unprotected, unsafe sex with another woman during the off-season, a woman whom he was not married to. I can remember his announcement like it was yesterday. As a small child, you don't fully understand what AIDS or HIV is, but when someone that you look up to as a sports figure role model, you quickly understand what it is. But just a few short months later, he returned to play in the 1992 All-Star Game, winning the All-Star Game MVP award. During the game, you could tell that his teammates on the Western Conference team and the opposing players on the Eastern Conference team were afraid to get too close to him and what may happen if he were to get cut somehow, some way during the game. After protests from his fellow players, he retired again for 4 years. but then returned in 1996 at the age of 36 to play 32 games for the Los Angeles Lakers before retiring for the last and final time. Since his retirement, Johnson has been an advocate for AIDS, HIV, virus prevention, and safe sex practices. His public announcement for HIV positive status in 1991 helped the stereotyping of people with the virus that HIV was a gay disease, that heterosexuals need not worry about. His bravery in making this announcement was widely commended. So when you think about who you may or may not know that has this disease, think again, because whether they are famous or not, you just very well may know someone who carries this virus. And once you find out, how are you going to react? Will you be the percentage that stereotypes or is uncomfortable even being around someone with AIDS, HIV? Or will you realize that you cannot catch this deadly virus just by touching someone's hand?